So Donald Trump has brought a transparently frivolous lawsuit has filed. So Donald Trump has filed a transparently frivolous lawsuit against Twitter and Google and Facebook, and the lawsuit will be dismissed. But let's talk about how the lawyers for Twitter and Google and Facebook could have some real fun with it before the case gets dismissed. Because beating Donald Trump at his own game, like justice, matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So Donald Trump has sued Twitter, Google, and Facebook. Here's the headline from the Associated Press. Trump files suit against Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And Donald Trump is claiming that those social media platforms violated his constitutional rights, his First Amendment right to free speech. So let's go to the Constitution, the First Amendment. It reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and petition the government for a redress of grievances. So the operative part of the First Amendment for our discussion today is Congress shall make no law abridging freedom of speech. Here is a news bulletin. Twitter ain't Congress, right? Google isn't Congress. Facebook isn't Congress. None of them are the federal government. None of them are bound by the First Amendment. The First Amendment applies to government action, not private action. Not the actions of Google, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. So I'm not going to spend much time talking about the merits of Donald Trump's lawsuit because there are none. I would contend that CNBC got it just about right with this headline. Trump sues Twitter, Facebook, Google, and immediately begins fundraising off the effort. With Donald Trump, the grift is always the thing. Here's how that CNBC article reads in part. The tech platforms are private entities, not government institutions, and therefore the plaintiff's claims, Trump's claims in his lawsuit about constitutional violations do not hold up, according to this law professor, who goes on to say, I think this is just a public relations lawsuit, the professor said, and I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends with sanctions against the lawyers for filing a frivolous lawsuit. Donald Trump lawyers being sanctioned for filing frivolous lawsuits? Where have we heard that before? Rudy, Kraken Lady. So the suit fails. It fails spectacularly. But let's talk about how the lawyers for Twitter, for Google, for Facebook could really have some fun with this lawsuit. Now, what everybody expects the lawyers for those social media platforms to do is promptly file a motion to dismiss. Failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted because the First Amendment doesn't restrict who Twitter decides to kick off, who Facebook can deplatform. It's a great word, right? Deplatform. Sounds like somebody, pushed somebody else off of a train station platform. The First Amendment doesn't apply to those private companies. So Twitter and Google and Facebook's lawyers could certainly just move to dismiss the case, and any self-respecting judge would grant the motion, case dismissed. Now let's talk about sanctioning the lawyers for bringing the frivolous motion on behalf of Donald Trump. Or there's something else that the lawyers for Twitter and Google and YouTube could do. They could decide not to file a motion to dismiss. Instead, they could force the case to discovery. You know what that would involve? That would involve placing Donald Trump under oath at a deposition and asking him questions about, among other things, inciting the insurrection. And Donald Trump under oath? He might be able to answer the first question truthfully, which is, can you please state your name? He could probably fumble his way through that one. But the second, third, fourth, 10th, 100th, 1000th question? Donald Trump cannot answer questions truthfully, accurately, factually. So there would be some real value in forcing Donald Trump to a deposition. I'm not expecting that to happen. I'm expecting the lawyers for Twitter and Google and Facebook to promptly move to dismiss and then seek sanctions against the Trump lawyers who filed a completely frivolous, baseless, unsupportable lawsuit. That's probably how this suit will resolve itself. And in the end, the First Amendment will win out because justice matters. As always, folks, thank you for tuning into these daily videos. If you'd like to support our all-volunteer efforts, our mission, our content here at Justice Matters, you can go over to patreon.com. You can sign up to become a patron. And if you do, I will send you some Team Justice stickers and a personal handwritten note of thanks. And as always, folks, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.